Today's video, I'm going to show you 3 different methods for sowing your tomato seeds. Method 1 is the traditional little seed tray. This, I believe, is from the dollar store last year. I didn't use very many of them. And it's a 12-pack with a little saucer at the bottom. So there's the traditional method. We're going to try that. I also have a takeout container. I think this was from some kind of Chinese food dish. These containers are awesome. Definitely raid your recycling bin if you're new to starting seeds or you don't want to spend a lot of money. Just raid your recycling bin. I'm betting there's a lot of good containers in there for seed starting. And this one has a lid, so we're going to create a mini greenhouse effect with this little lid. And lastly, I have not tried this before. We are going to do winter sowing tomato seeds. I've done many different seeds winter sowing, and I've had fantastic success in the last year winter sowing seeds. But I didn't try tomatoes last season, so we're going to try winter sowing tomato seeds and see how it goes. Costa Lucu Genovese tomato, a spoon tomato, and a green doctor's tomato. Sounds very intriguing. And my own choice is a German pink tomato. I have not tried any of these varieties, so they're all new, and we're going to see how they grow. I'm going to start with my milk jug, which is prepared. And this is a form of winter sowing. If you've never done winter sowing, I will link a previous video in the description that you can learn how to create this planter with a milk jug. And let's get started. For soil, I'm going to be using just a regular seed starting mix. I don't have any preferences for brands or anything like that. I typically use seed starting mix. I often mix in a little bit of kelp meal for some extra nutrition and top with vermiculite. So we'll just fill up our milk jug. I'm going to add just a little bit of kelp meal to my seed starter mix. If you're unfamiliar with kelp meal, it contains, this particular batch from Gia Green contains 1% nitrogen and 2% soluble potash. This is what kelp meal looks like. I'll give you a little closer look. I don't know how well the camera is focusing on the granules. It's kind of like a coarse sand, I want to call it. So we are going to add just a handful or so to the milk jug. And then I am going to mix it up so it is well distributed in this batch of seed starting mix. Next, I'm going to open up my package of tomato seeds. Oops, that was not the way I intended it to go. About 20 seeds here. The camera's picking that up. We are just going to put them into the milk jug. I'm going to one-handedly put this into the milk jug while I hold the camera. And I'll just adjust these seeds a little bit. Water is not my normal water. That is left over from my seaweed fertilizing of my house plants. So not to worry. I'm not going too heavy on the water because this is the Pacific Northwest. We get a lot of rain here. So even if the starting mix looks a bit dry, it's totally fine. The seeds will be just fine in their milk jug without giving them too much water. In fact, I probably won't water them until close to when they're ready to go out into the landscape. The benefit of winter sowing is you don't have to harden off your seeds, which is honestly my pet peeve of sowing in the house. But we're going to sow a couple that are going in the house, so I will be doing it this season. The milk jug, I'm going to write tomato German pink on the outside. We're going to finish off by duct taping our milk jug closed. and it's already starting to rain, so these guys will be getting plenty of water. You're now in the side yard, and this is where our milk jug is going to live, right by its neighbors, who were started early January. And sneak peek, next I'm going to fill up these little trays with some seed starting mix, and I just realized I forgot to add vermiculite to my milk jug. We're gonna just let it be, but my other two trays are gonna have vermiculite. Vermiculite is a great ingredient for topping your seedlings, your seeds, because it prevents mildew and algae as much as possible. Zipper, nope. This guy is in trouble. He is scratching himself like a madman. It's more of a behavioral issue than it is an actual medical issue. He's full of behavioral problems. I'm going to label it, and I'm going to go very generic, and I'm going to call this Susan's Seeds. Getting ahead of myself. And the rain is starting to fall, so we're going to pick up speed. Get some potting mix into this tray. There is no drainage holes in here, but I'm confident that's going to be just fine, because one thing about tomato seeds and seedlings and plants is they absolutely love water. Tomatoes are water hogs. So even if there's no drainage holes, this should be totally fine. I've done something similar before. Not in a takeout tray, but similar situation. I'm going to put a little kelp meal in here and mix it up. Take off my gloves because these seeds are so tiny and there's only a few of them. We have, I think, 3 or 4 of these spoonful tomatoes if my supervisor does not eat them. And because I'm actually picking them up by the individual seed, I can space them out quite adequately. So that's a benefit when you don't have a whole bunch of seeds. We're going to top with vermiculite, and I'll show you where this is going to go when we're all done the trays. Next, gonna fill up this little tray, and in here we are putting, I'm gonna call them exotic tomatoes. And this is probably the spot where I'm gonna get very dirty, but that's all part of the fun. Definitely getting a little bit dirty here. And if you can see, you probably can't see, but whoa, I made a hot mess. I made a hot mess of myself and the deck and the patio, so that's fun. And next we're gonna add some kelp meal. And I'm just gonna mix it in a little bit with my fingers. And now I'm gonna put in the seeds. It looks like we have, let's say, 4 green doctors. So I'm gonna try to put 1 seed per cell, and then I'll actually know if they've all germinated from this batch. A couple extra cells, and I might just sneak in something like basil or something in the house, but we'll see. And this time we're gonna put in some vermiculite. Give these guys a little water. And I'll show you where these guys are gonna live. Here we are in one of the spare bedrooms, and this is where my seeds are going to live till they are ready to be hardened off outside. So we've got our takeout tray with a lid on, and our traditional starter pots, I guess you call them, or starter trays. They're going to be living in this sunny windowsill. That's going to be all for today's seed starting video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you very soon in another video. Have a good day.